There was a time when Britain owned its soul, its rails, its water, its power, its air. Then it sold it all, not in war, not through conquest, but across a boardroom table, under flickering fluorescent lights, in the name of freedom. It began in the 1980s. The Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher, declared war on the post-war state. What had once been public was now bloated, inefficient, and, most dangerously, unprofitable. And with those 7 words, the foundation was laid for the greatest sell-off in British history. British Telecom, British Gas, British Airways, British Steel, British Rail, water, electricity. Bit by bit, Britain's veins, the infrastructure of everyday life, were auctioned to the highest bidder. They promised lower prices, more choice, a golden age of competition. But what did we get?
Trains packed like sardines, and I'm paying how much for a ticket?
My water bill tripled. They say it's for investment, but my tap runs brown when it rains.
They shut the plant, said it wasn't viable. My dad worked there for 30 years.
BT, still dominant. British Gas, split, sold, fragmented. British Rail, a jigsaw puzzle of private operators propped up by taxpayers. Water, every drop you drink is owned by a private company. Electricity, profiteering during crises while millions choose between heating and eating. And the profits? Over £70 billion paid in dividends by water firms since privatisation, while sewage floods our rivers. The UK led the way, and the world followed blindly. Argentina sold its water until the poor rioted. Nigeria handed its power grid to cronies, and the lights still go out. South Africa's Eskom is on life support. India opened its railways, protests ignited. Ghana, Uganda, Kenya, pressured by the World Bank, sold their utilities for pennies. But the West, France, Germany, they watched the UK's experiment and held on to their public assets. Only we were foolish enough to privatize everything.
You know, it's a pattern we've seen again and again. Promises of efficiency, of progress, but the ordinary people pay the price. Around the world, the story repeats, but not everyone was so quick to sell what matters most.
Who benefits from your bill? Your rent? Your train fare? Not Britain. Your electricity is owned by EDF, a company run by the French government. Your water, owned by foreign pension funds. Your rail, controlled by private firms, bailed out by your taxes. And when profits rise, the bonuses go up. When things break, you pay. This isn't capitalism. It's feudalism in a pinstripe suit. This is bigger than the UK. Privatisation is a gear in a global machine. The IMF and World Bank called it liberalisation. But what it meant was dependency. Strip the state, sell the assets, make the people pay for what they used to own. And now, a new order rises. Where food is patented, water is metered, electricity is credit-based, and loyalty is the price of access. When the world digitizes food and water, when planting your own seeds becomes illegal, what will you own? Nothing. And they promise you'll be happy. But the people are waking up. Rail unions strike. Water defenders sue. Energy rebels resist prepaid tyranny. And the idea grows that some things should never have been for sale.
We're not just fighting for contracts. We're fighting for our lives, for our children, for the right to what's ours. They want us to believe we're powerless. Well, we're not. We are the power.
We can still take it back, not to the past, but to a future where essentials belong to the people, where profit doesn't come before dignity, where water is a right, not a dividend, where power, both electric and political, returns to the public. Because the soul of a nation is not in its GDP, but in the hands of its people. They sold it for silver. Now it's time to buy it back with truth